All right. So, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about the Kirks, what's happening in Russia, right? And so,
Yeah, which I don't know
fr-
too much
friend
about,
that
but
a friend that I know, who's also familiar with Ukraine, he's been there. We were talking, and I got to find it in the text, but I have to. He says something that was really important. Oh, this is what he said. He said Ukraine had a number of CIA sites along the border with Russia and Belarus, as well as some other sites. When Belarus backed out of active participation, it freed up thousands of soldiers that now seem to be part of the Kirk's offensive. Others were what was left over from Ukrainian elite units.
yeah. So
Yeah,
that clicks with what I told you, Randall,
exactly. Yeah, that's what I was. It was. Yeah, that's what I was. It's interesting.
and that. Well, either way, and that, which can't describe too much detail on that on the actual recording, but
Yeah, exactly. But no,
but
it's interesting.
because
Very
well,
interesting.
you know what it is this, okay, in that, like, to be completely fair with everything, like, how to say this, some conversations you can have totally in private, then some are like semi-private, and then some are like, completely public, so it's like that. But yeah, it was a thing that just ran through my head because I heard a conversation a few years ago, and that, and everything else. Boy, this like the elephant in the room of, well, what did they talk about? For people that watch. But oh, I don't know. It's just one of them things that sometimes how to put it, I think sometimes the most innocuous information is the most important information, and the most important is not the most important. It's like a
That makes.
reverse psychology. And that, like, what they don't want you to know is what they want you to know, and what they want you to know is what you should not know.
Yeah, it seems planned. Like the whole thing was planned. That was in the works for a good while. So it definitely wasn't spontaneous.
Well, I don't, from my iPad, but the maps, it's really strange because I guess if you watch the Russian side, the whole thing is over now. But if you watch the Ukraine side, it's still going. So which one is the truth is the question.
You're absolutely right because no matter the sources I read, when I read in the Kiev Independent, the Kiev Post, and other areas that have the more Ukrainian side of way of looking at it, they say it's still ongoing. Then you look at the Russian accounts, like you said, and they said it's done, it's liberated, it's over. And so
Yeah,
the back of my mind is that I think that there's truce on all sides. And the fact that Russia could have quelled some things, but does that mean that small fightings are still going on? Absolutely. But as I look how the
yeah,
Ukrainians went in, they didn't really bring a whole lot of people. So I don't look at it as much as an invasion as more of getting Russia like a nosebleed, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah. And believe me, that'd give anybody a nosebleed. It's just it's basically like I'm now on your doorstep. So I kind of kicking a few doors and now your nose is bleeding, but I'm still in the fight. Ukraine is basically saying they're still in the fight. Is how I'm taking it.
Well, yeah,
So
but it's interesting. I'm looking at this on the live UA map thing, and there's some like photo of a Ukrainian soldier that's right in front of it's basically like a Russian uh like a like a 7-Eleven kind
Right.
of, not really, but it's like a grocery store. It's really like a Kroger's or a Walmart. But the photo is very specific. And the fact that I guess they were hitting an airport near Russia, you know what it probably was, which the airport thing makes sense. And that is that they would hit the airport to knock back the fighter capability to go into Ukraine. And that part would make sense. And that, but you know, it's a funky, strange thing, and that. But you know, the thing that was really interesting when you mentioned, say, Belarus per se, um, how do I want to say it? Like, you know, like in the beginning, let's say the first week or two, or even before, like say a month before, they kept saying, well, Belarus will probably be involved. Belarus will probably be involved.
Mhm.
And I had a conversation, this happened like a weekend, with a Ukrainian friend, Vitaly. He's older than me. He's like about, say, 50 or around there. And he told me once, he said, you know, if Belarus gets involved, because the only way Belarus can become involved is to go south from Belarus. Okay. So in that way, they would basically be going and like all of these things. And he told me if that happens, he said every single Ukrainian will just go nuts in the country. I mean, they will. He said it won't happen, but if it did happen, just every Ukrainian would go mad. In the way that he said it. Okay, okay, I see the shared screen thing. Let's see if I can do it. I'll do it in a second. But but he had told me that thing that basically that every Ukraine would just go nuts in that. No, is say about now. I would have to ask him when he's free. But he's just a normal guy. He's like a jack of all trades Ukrainian guy in that. He used to live in the UK for a period of time. Let me see here. Let's see if I can do the share screen, share content. So let me see. Let me knock off.
We may have lost Ricky. Let's see if he comes back. If not, I'll stop recording. Try again.